A very good morning to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Sports Check on this Monday morning. It is the 15th day of July 2024. Well, and remember that we are counting down to the Olympics. It's 11 days to Paris 2024. And also, if you are to count, we are then from the 28th of August plus another 15 or so days, we're looking at 43 days to the Paralympic Games Paris 2024. We'll be having a conversation about the Paralympic Games right here in studio. We've got some members of Team Kenya who are going to be representing us out there. So I'll be introducing them. Also, we'll be talking about Woodball, a game that is basically a combination of croquet and golf. And Kenya, the African champions, the East African champions, and Woodball Kenya is going to be hosting the Kenya International Woodball Championship later in the year. And over the weekend, the people of Meru got a real taste of one-day action in motorsport. And we'll be speaking with the Meru Motorsports Club. And because of the way they organized the event, the turnout was brilliant. I think right now we can say truly that when you take the sport to people, it really does well. And in the news also, we are expecting a briefing from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations headquarters. This is at the Mazingira complex, where there is going to be a briefing, and this is all about what we have seen as the macabre scenes at Kware in Bukuru Kwajenga in Nairobi County, where bodies have been retrieved from that disused quarry that they had been dumped there, and they're being picked day by day. And also, the Kenya Association of Kenya of Kara, that's K-A-R-A, they will be having signing an MOU with Bingwa. So those are some of the stories that we are going to be taking a look at as we continue this conversation. Our sign language interpreter is Anne Wangeshi, and let's get going. Our hashtag is Sports Check KBC. So in studio, let me introduce to you Paralympic Team Kenya, and they are all preparing for the Paris Olympics. On my right is the treasurer, and she is also a power lifting coach, Lena Marita. Thank you. Karibu. Thank you very much. And on my left here, we've got Coach Philip Haimba. He's a Taekwondo coach, and then we've got two Taekwondoin. I got the name right.
Taekwondo.
Yes?
Yes, yeah.
That is, yeah, we know judoka, karateka, the Taekwondoin. Yes, we've got Juliet Moipo.
Yes.
She's here, a para judoka, and they're going to be demonstrating to us later. You know, it's going to be dummy, no contact, nobody will get hurt here, but they will be taking us through this. And also, we've got Stacy Neema, who has also qualified for Paris 2024.
Yes.
Karibuni. And let me start with you, Treasurer, because from the executive end, I know it's now a crucial time, just the process of getting ready for the Paralympics and also making sure that all athletes are registered, including the good news that there were more slots for Kenya.
Yes. We thank our government, also our Paralympic team, because it has never been easy for our athletes.
Okay.
So far we have.
Okay, Treasurer, I'll be coming back to you so that we can have your microphone checked. So let me come to you. Let me start with you, Stacy. You'll travel and then you get to an event. No opponents. It's disappointing, but it also comes with the good news that you've qualified for the Paralympic Games. Just take us through that story.
Okay, the preparation was well. I prepared well for the qualifiers that was in Senegal. I was ready for my match. Unfortunately, there was no opponent under my category, under 52. Yes, I went through the weighing. They checked my weight, and it was well.
And that was the moment that you qualified?
Yes.
And also, let me come to you. The same case for you, Juliet.
Not the same case, but nilikuwa na opponent, but my opponent failed to come. So for me, then I go and wait. Then I qualify under 57.
Very well, and you can see that they're going to be ready and they're going to be working under coach. And it was, you know, a bittersweet when you traveled to Senegal. Just give us, the whole story around that.
Okay. Thank you, Wahome. Ours is normally quite interesting. It's a Kenyan scenario that affects all sporting organizations. In the beginning, we had quite a number of run-ins here and there, coming up with the players and their weights, getting classification to be on time, all that starting from last year. We were meant to go for the Africa Championship. We failed last minute. We were meant to go for the World Championship, which would have actually helped the two athletes, plus the others who didn't manage to participate, to at least get to be upgraded and at least to play one or two events. We failed. Then when it came to now the Olympics, the Olympic qualifiers in Senegal, we were supposed to travel on the Monday, I think, and here is on the Thursday. We are told there's no funding. So we had to run up and down. We had to see what we could do. KBC came on board. We talked to them. They talked to NOC, and there's some money that came in. And fortunately, I should say fortunately, we were able to take this two. For the everybody, we had two that were going. So we took a team of only 4 ladies and a coach and a team manager. So because we looked at the logistics that had been involved, we were told the funding that would be available will only be enough for 2 players. So we had to sit down and look at what was on board. And I'm not saying it is going to be guesswork. We had pre-thought of this starting from last Olympics, the Tokyo one. We had looked at the demographics, participation of other countries within Africa region, the weight categories that are normally presented. And as you know, our African ladies are not exactly tiny. Yes. So we actually made a conscious effort to look for people who would fit in particular categories, because those categories are, I would not say less challenging, but because for you to also be of a particular weight category, it's also a challenge on its own to maintain that category. So the other part of it is like we have less opponents in those categories. And this is now what we went out there specifically to get these 2 girls to play in that category.
Okay, so there it is. For you, Stacey,
Yes.
you are multi-talented when it comes to sports.
Yes.
You can play badminton very well. You've got the option for that. Why the choice of taekwondo?
According to the calendar, taekwondo's qualification was in Feb. Para-athletics was in this month. They went to Kobe. I was to be among the team. But after I've qualified for the taekwondo, I decided I was contented, yes. So I did not go for the other qualifications.
Okay. And what has been that journey? What has been your journey, given that you've opted not to go the athletics way, but concentrate now on taekwondo and the kind of work that you're doing to get ready for Paris?
Okay, the journey started for taekwondo. The journey started 2 years back in September 2022 when I joined taekwondo. It was the last game I joined. I first joined para badminton. I went for some championship and also para athletics. Then I met my friends. They took me to para taekwondo. I got interest. I started playing it. Then, according to the calendar, taekwondo's qualification came first. I prepared for it. I went and I qualified.
Juliet, let's come to you. Just take us through that journey, getting into the sports and eventually getting to a level where you can don that very wanted jacket, the Team Kenya jacket.
Okay, for me, I was introduced by one of my friend who was the former taekwondo. Then I joined taekwondo 2 years back. But for me, I just concentrate with one sport, only taekwondo. So I just focus with taekwondo. Then we go for qualification in Senegal, then I qualified.
After the qualification, what has been your story? Mambo yapi umekuwa ukijihusisha na ili kujitayarisha kwa michezo ya Paralympics?
Nilikuwa tu nisikose training, I just concentrate on my training and kuangalia tena story na food because it is just a category of kgs. Yeah.
Let's talk about diet and keeping your weight, because coach here mentioned that, you know, in this sport, I can think of boxing, I can even know, I know Treasurer here is going to come and also tell us about, you know, powerlifting, weightlifting. You've got to stay within a weight category. How do you ensure you stay at under 57 all the time?
I used to take a balanced diet, mostly protein, because protein gives a person to have power in your legs. Yeah, so you have to just maintain a balanced diet.
Stacey, for you, knowing that also your division, I know the lower divisions for sports people, actually, there is a tendency that as you grow, you tend to gain weight and mass. So how do you, keep within your class?
With me, mine, I can't say it's so much stress on me. It's 52. Right now I'm 49, so it's still well with me. I just make sure the quality of food, the quantity of protein is well balanced with the energy giving. Then as I practice, I have my weighing machine. I always weigh to always make sure I'm within the kgs. For like now, we have few days to the tournament. So my
43 days to the games.
Yes.
43, right?
Yes. So by now, as I train, I concentrate on my diet and I weigh. In case of if I go down, I make sure I increase the volume of food to come back. Yeah, because there are some players, they cut weight to be there. So you find out that they are coming strong. Someone was from 57, she comes all the way to 52 or 53. So she's strong. For me to be at par with her, I also have to maintain and not go underweight. Yes.
So, Coach, let me come to this and what it essentially means for this sport about staying within your weight division, and in terms of speed and also the aspect of accuracy and the power that comes with it.
Okay, normally there's always a give and take when it comes to issue of the weight categories. You find that you can be on the higher side of the bracket. Like Stacey is actually, her bracket level is 52, upper level. If she goes too low, you find that there's some people, like for Juliet here, her upper bracket is 57.
Yes.
Their coach, maybe in another country, would have looked at a player like Juliet and told her, cut weight, go to category of under 52. You'll have the advantage of maybe being bigger. Basically, we are talking about the BMI. The taller you are, the more the advantages to you as a player. So most coaches work with the BMI of the player. So if the player could be taller, playing against a shorter opponent, the issue of reach is there. The issue of power comes into play. But the smaller player, on the other hand, has the issue of speed. So there is a balance that the coach has to strike. Would the issue of reach and power be able to overcome the issue of speed? If yes, then the coach would go for that. So it is a balancing fact that is, like for her now, her bigger category is actually the one that is in a problem, because people who are easily 63 kilos are the ones who cut weight and come to under 57, specifically for the event. Those are strong ladies. So if they kick her here and there, she would easily become disillusioned one way or another, because they're much stronger. Much as at that point in time, they're the same. But at least the system has been put in place nowadays is much better than during the days when we used to play. There is a main weighing in the day before the event, then the morning before the event, there's a random weighing in that we have to look into. So that random weighing in makes sure that the player, once he or she has weighed on day one, the next day the players still have to be within the category, because they don't know whether they'll be called for the random weighing, and if you're called for the random weighing and you're over or below, you're disqualified. So at least you play with somebody who's almost your weight category.
Aha. So Juliet, kujitayarisha pengine tuulize, unasikia kocha hapa akisema tu vizuri sana. Amesema vizuri sana. Kuna wale ambao wako 63 na wale ambao pengine wako under 52. Ukifanya mazoezi yako unafanya na wale wako kiwango gani cha uzani?
Mostly nafanya na able bodies. For me to have a speed na nikuwe na power, so I compete with them.
Hivi hebu tuambie kupambana nao, kwa sababu kuna tofauti moja tu kati ya taekwondo para na taekwondo ya able bodied, ya kwamba hakuna ngumi katika mchezo wenu
na kupiga kichwa.
Na kupiga kichwa. Sasa tuambie mazoezi yako unavyofanya.
Tuko na electronic system tumeanza kuitumia, but hiyo kuna hogo protective enye tunaifa, so mtu wesi umia, but lazima ukue na nguvu, ndo ukikick ndo itasko. So lazima ukue na power kwa miguu, alafu ukue tena na speed. Yeah.
Sawa. Na wale able bodied weight unatumia wale wako juu ama unafanya mazoezi na kina Stacy wale wako weight ingine kidogo?
Pia naisa fanya na Stacy because Stacy yako na speed, so ndio anipeleke mbio, pia mimi ni cash up. Lazima ni train na yeye bado.
Very well. Sawa. Yes, Juliet Moipo, she is a para taekwondoin. She is one of the two who qualified for the Paris Olympics, for the Paralympics that are going to be taking place from the 28th of August to the 8th of September in France. And also in studio with us, let me introduce her again, Lena Marita. She's the treasurer of Paralympics Kenya, and she's also a powerlifting coach. So let me start with you, and you tell us basically first on the powerlifting side and the story of our Commonwealth Games bronze medalist Helen Wawira. Tueleze vile mambo yalivyo. Just tell us how far.
Okay, thank you very much. As you have heard, my name is Lena Marita. I'm the treasurer and the coach to Kenya Power Lifting. So far, we have qualified one athlete by the name Helen Wawira, who's under category up to 41 kg. She managed to lift 98 kg. So she has already qualified. She was number 7 in her category. So she has been training well. She has been in the camp for 3 months.
Yes.
She's fit. Also, in powerlifting, is a game of weight. If you go beyond your body weight, for example, Helen, who's in 41, she should not go above 41. She remains 41 and below. So she has been maintaining that, and she is performing very well. Yes.
Yeah, 98 kilos, putting her 7th in her division globally, then making sure that she's got the power. How do you take her through the paces? Because as you train for all these events in powerlifting.
As we usually train for 3 days per week at Nyayo Stadium, the athlete is under nutritionist, psychology. So all the things she's being trained so that she can maintain her body weight, not to go above. Yes.
And what about ensuring that she has the right power so that we can see her go, even past 100 kgs in that power lift?
As I've said earlier, we have a nutritionist. So she's also in a diet, which makes him to retain his power, not to exceed and not to reduce. Yes.
Looking at her growth, because she's been to, this is now her, 2 Commonwealth Games, now one more time a Paralympian. What are the key improvements that you have seen with Helen over the past, say, 6-7 years?
Okay, since she started training, she's improving, because when she started 2015, it's her first event, which she went to Congo. She has been improving on the way, because we listened to you at Georgia's. She did her best. That's why now she has qualified. Yes.
Now let's move on to something else. Given that you are with the executive of Paralympics Kenya, the athletics team, the news that 3 extra slots were available and you did the trials. What was that big story for you? Such that legends like Mushai could come in and be part of the team again.
Okay, because we are given 3 slots, and we have about 5 who scored high performance. So we decided to do trials for the athletics. The trial was done at Kapsabet, and we are waiting to do 2 more at Nairobi. We have one for javelin and another one for high jump. So after that is when we will select we will give the 3 slots to the one who have already reached the qualifying mark.
I know it's going to be a very tough decision, given that everyone wants to be in Paris representing the country. So how are you going to rank them such that everyone sees that there is the balance between the possibility for medals and also the opportunity for for every athlete to have a Paralympics chance?
In our sports, we usually have the qualifying mark. For example, if for 5,000, there's a time they are supposed to run. For the field, the same. So we will see. We'll use the timing. So when we choose the 3 slots.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, the other sport that I want to talk about, Asia Mohammed, is para-rowa. She has qualified for this. And just, Lena, you could take us through just an update on the preparations that she has been going through, including the fact that she got a standard boat eventually.
Yes.
A standard canoe that she can now use to train.
Okay. For Asia, she will be going to train at KSS at Eldoret. The preparation is going well on. She's going to be in the camp until the time of departure. So even we are trying our best so that our team can train well. Because we are having 3 different camps. We have for taekwondo at Nairobi, and we have for athletics at Kapsabet, at Kipchoge, and we will have another one at Moranga for cyclists. So as the Paralympic, as KBC, we are trying to make sure our athletes and our coaches and our technicals, they are being followed up well, so that we can see our team to perform well in Paris.
Well, actually, let me talk about cycling here, because we've got Dedan Ireri. We saw his exploits. We had hosted him on Game On a couple of weekends ago. He came in. For Ireri, this is a breakthrough for paracycling. And just give us a whole setup of the camp that is going to be out in Moranga for him.
Because for cycling, we have 2 athletes. So they have been training at Moranga. That's where they do they are training well. They are also, as a KNPC, we are supporting them. Plus the government, they have already supported us. So we believe that they are going to perform well, because this is the first time we are having taekwondo in Paralympic and also cycling. We have been having athletics and powerlifting and swimming only. So this year we are lucky, we have 2 more events from taekwondo and cycling.
Para swimming, the big I know this is a big challenge because swimming has got a lot. I mean, has got very high standards for entry.
Yes, this time we did not manage to have swimming because they did not go for qualifying. Yes.
All right. Well, you've had it from Lena Marita. She's also going to be, telling us about the plans. We've been told about the 3 camps out in Eldoret, Murang'a, and Nairobi for all the athletes who are going to be there. Coach, yes. For your taekwondo in that you have got here,
yes,
just give us the whole idea about having to ensure that, number one, they've got the right power and the right speeds when they are whenever they're training. And then Juliet and Stacy, see mtatufanyia demonstration kidogo, because the fact that you don't score by a strike on the head, or I mean above the neck, and also the fact that you don't use your hands in any way. So let's speak with Coach about how he does this.
Okay, for this particular team, we have been training with them since beginning of the year. We were at South Sea. We trained for the qualifiers there. It was totally a Kenya Taekwondo Federation affair. And then when it came to the qualifiers is when we brought KNPC on board. And then from there, what now has happened is we have partnered with Parkland Sports Club. We have been training, and KNPC have been able to facilitate a strength and conditioning trainer, a nutritionalist, and a psychologist that has been working with the ladies to this date. So on our end, luckily Parklands has everything. They've got a Papo gym that is specifically tailored for Paralympic athletes. So they have their own trainers, and they have really been assisting us on that, and the other facilities that are there. So when it comes to running or everything is there. It's kind of self-contained, and we've actually been lucky, I should say. Unlike we've been lucky. KNPC has come full board. The government has been there for us, and the players are there. Spirits are high. I have on board sparring partners, at least 1 or 2 Olympians, former Olympians that we have, who are sparring partners with them, and I've got some other senior coaches from the other clubs and other national team members. We have a big team that is actually helping them.
Okay.
Yes.
Sawa. Gym work, the vile coach amesema. Let me start with you, Juliet, and then Stacy. How are you working out at that gym?
Kuna gym ya miguu. Ya crawl ndio miguu ikuwe na speed. Na pia kuna ya sana tunafanya ya miguu kupanua hips ndio bones ya chana unakuwa flexible. Yeah.
Kwa hivyo ukituonyesha, so how do your movement inakuanga aje? Ya hiyo unaweza tumia tu mkono ama ni ile kuinua?
Kuna pia ya kuinua, unaekelewa gym hapa, then mtu unakaa, then unainua gym hivyo.
Aha. Wewe umekusaidia aje ndo tutayarishe ndo mje mtufanyie demonstration hapa?
Actually, gym has helped me to get power in my legs and to work on the smaller muscles, so that at the moment I kick, the impact is there directly. You see, you can kick and it doesn't read. Yeah, so that is also another challenge because you're using energy and the time is limited. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right, so they'll be getting ready so that they can give us a demonstration here, the kicks and also how the scoring is done. Coach is going to be here to help us understand that, so that when you get to watch the para athletes as they do train, then you would fully understand how para taekwondo scoring happens. So, Treasurer, yes, let me come to this and just give us a whole idea about the arrangements that you have got for Team Kenya. Already we know the Olympics team, they've started visiting, they've started going to Miramas. We know already the sprinters are there, the swimmers are in Miramas. And what's going to be the plan for KNPC?
Thank you. For Paralympics, also we will go for 3 weeks in France.
Miramas.
Not in Miramas. There's a place called Campaign. That's where our athletes will go for training. So we are planning by 8th of August, our team will go to you don't know, it's a place called Campaign.
Yes.
That's
okay, it's a French place.
It's a French name, yeah. That's where they will go for their training to wait for the competition in France. We are prepared with what we have gotten. Still, we are requesting sponsors to come on board to assist us in terms of finance, materials, because we are able, we can do it. And we believe as Paralympic team, this time we are having a big team, which we have never been. By thanking the government, and also requesting sponsors kindly come on board to assist us. Thank you.
All right. So, and then for the, so that means all the teams will be out there training?
Yes.
So 3 weeks and then they get to the village?
Yes.
Well, so there you have it. And the two ladies now are ready to come in on the floor here. And they're going to give us a demonstration. And coach, as they do come in, something that the scoring methods for Taekwondo, just give us to them as they get right here, and they show us a demonstration as to how they compete. So, and you could describe it for us as they do it. So, first of all, they've got the hogo, that is
the chest protector.
The chest protector.
Yes.
And they also have a helmet. They also have headgear.
Yes, they have a helmet, and this time they've made it differently from the able body. There's a face plate now, transparent one. So even if it's an accidental hit to the face, because definitely being in their category, the use of limbs, the upper limbs, isn't there. So you find it is not dangerous.
So no full contact, so we can see the movement.
Yes.
So Stacy and Julie. Now, first the score, the different scoring.
Yes.
So to get a point.
To get a point, a player should be able to use enough power to cause, okay, in this case, you can see they're having their normal socks. There's an electronic socks that you put on that has sensors. And then the chest protector has sensors. So a score will actually be gotten when she's hitting. If it strikes and the score is above a power of 20, that straightforward score is 2 points. If she kicks that way, she gets 2 points. If the power and the targeting is above 20, when she turns like that, that's like a turning technique, she will score 3 points.
Okay.
Yes.
So a single, so straight with?
That is a direct score.
That's a direct score.
Direct score. It scores on its own. The judges, who we call them referees nowadays, they don't need to score. It's been made to make the game more fairer. So it automatically scores. So this is bidii yako.
Bidii yako kweli. So, and looking, and so when you do the go round?
When you go round, you get a technical point. 1 more point is added. So, for para. For able body, it's 2 points technical point. So when you do this, you get 3 points when you turn round. But the technical point is only added after bidii yako have already gone in.
Well,
when you score is when you get the technical point.
Yes.
But if you don't score, even if you turn out, you don't get anything.
Now, supposing you've mentioned about the protective gear they have for the face. So if you do touch the face, what's the case in that case?
Touch the face, okay, there are 2 scenarios. The first one, let's assume it is an intentional, whatever it is. If the hit is intentional or non-intentional, so long as you've touched the face, that is a deduction you get. A gum jam, you deducted a full point. the point you're deducted would go eventually to the opponent.
To the opponent.
To the opponent, increasing the opponent's points. Your points are never technically deducted. Your points remain your points, what you've gained. But the opponent is added one more point.
And that is now the referee who's observing all of this.
The referee is observing. Me as the coach, I'm observing. So if I see an infringement of this kind, I have a card. If my player is having a blue protector or red protector, I raise my card and bring it to the notice of the coach that this has taken place.
Of the referee, right?
Of the referee, yes, the center referee, that this is what has happened. And then they take action by deducting that point from the person.
All right, the duration of each contest?
5 minutes, unfortunately. Everybody, they do 2 minutes with a break of 3 rounds. This one is 5 minutes, but each referee has a quarter of 1 minute break, depending with how he sees the game. If my player has the energies and has the zeal and is leading, I don't need to call for timeout. Timeout should be a very technical call for the coach. He should know when to call it. I should not call a timeout and give the opponent an advantage. Yes.
So, Stacy and Juliet, sasa mna manage aje energy yenu katika mchezo?
Like kama size na train, the coach knows lazima to work kwa.
Yeah, you can, stand and look towards the cameras. You can, or take your seats back. Sawa, ongea tu.
Lazima we have to work on endurance, because I know it may be a 5 minutes non-stop, depending with my scores. If I am kama niko mbele kwa opponent, the coach will not need to call for timeout, because it will be in the favor of the opponent. Atachukua hiyo time to breathe. So I have to prepare well, get enough endurance to be able to fight 5 minutes non-stop. Within those 5 minutes, I have to calculate, because it's more of the mind game and kusoma opponent yangu. Yeah, I have to know when to score and which kick to actually score with. Yeah.
Juliet, whenever you ukijitayarisha mashindano kama haya, how do you work with the coach so that you know the opponents that you are going to face when a draw is done?
Lazima nikuwe na gas. Lazima like nikimbie morning before nianze kutrain. Alafu pia nikiwa kwa ring nikiona nimeishiwa na gas, lazima nimshikilie mwenye tuna train na opponent. Kuna venye mtu unaenda unajisukumia kwake, at least unapata hiyo gas.
Kama vile tunaona boxing wakipigana wanaanza
hivi. Let's say hivi.
Then unaingia hivi.
So you maybe ana relax.
Nikirelax na mtupa then na mweka check. Then ana stop.
So that is allowed, but the referee,
it is allowed. So long as the holding is a 3-second thing. Then the referee, whatever time you hold, the referee is the one to come and say break. So once the referee says break, you go out. But there's nothing against holding. The referee is the one who's actually meant to say break. Then you break, and then again, you go, you come back. As you say, it's a technique that is used for easing the pressure.
Okay. So, Stacy, Juliet, mnaweza chini as you know, tukienda kumaliza this segment so that we can touch on another sport. Your full expectations. I'll start with you, Stacy, the under 52. Your expectations out there.
Okay, being my first time, I am not afraid. I trust my coach. We are training well, and I expect a medal, and I know I'm going to get it. Yes, okay. I believe.
But tuambie furaha ya kukua kwamba sasa naenda michezo ya Olimpiki ya Paralympics Paris mwisho wa mwezi wa 8, na matumaini yako katika michezo hii.
For me nimefocus na najiamini. Yeah, fighting ni lazima ni fight. Lazima ni kuwa aggressive. I hope nitaleta medal.
Yes, and a medal from Taekwondo is going to be a first for Paralympics Kenya.
Yes, it's the first time Paralympic Okay, this is the second time Taekwondo has been in the Paralympics. This is the second time. Tokyo was the first time, this is the second time. Yes, and this is the first for us. And last time, I think we missed it just by a brush. Yeah. This time we're there, we want to make a mark, and we believe this is going to be a springboard for bigger, better things.
Well, you've had it from Coach Philip Kaimba, and finally, treasurer. Yes. And overall, what you have seen so far, and you could just give us an idea of about how many athletes in total. You're going to be taking, 7 athletes and their guides for the visually impaired. Overall number for Team Kenya that you're looking at?
For now, I cannot tell the overall number because we are still, because we did our trials for the 3 trials we were given. So maybe by the end of this week, we shall know the total number of the Paralympic team to Paris. Yes. And obviously, ile kitu wa Kenya wanauliza kwa mtandao, no joy riders, eh? Yes, there's no joy riders.
Yeah, definitely. That has been a very strong conversation. Actually, there were publications about what the people who are going to be traveling. And so I think there is one other thing, the medical side. How have you prepared on that? Because we've seen that there is somebody who's been dedicated as a medical officer for Team Kenya for the Olympics. From the Paralympic side, just give us about your medical preparations for that.
For Paralympic, we have one medical team. We have about 7 team. We have a doctor and we have a physiotherapist. So the team, every team has a physiotherapy, and we have a doctor who's going around for the checkup. So we are well prepared for medical. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. And that is the treasurer of Paralympics Kenya, the Kenya National Paralympics Committee, Lena Marita, and she's preparing for the Paralympic Games from the 28th of August to the 8th of September. And also now, making sure, let me come to you, Coach, because this is very crucial for you. Because we know we've got the time. How well would you like to see the para taekwondo grow?
Okay, para taekwondo, I would say it's actually a relatively new sport in Kenya. We started way back in 2015. We've had our ups and downs, and a lot of things have been done very locally. Our first international assignment was 2017, Africa Championship. We took a relatively very young team. In fact, of the young boys and girls that we had, I think only 3 are currently still with the team. And then going forward, we have had quite a number coming in, and we have been fortunate that our team has been drawn from students from college level, at least college level. This has been a very big boost for us because it ensures that at least the rest of the people who are back at the college who have disabilities that are similar to these ones are easily drawn into. And we're having, actually the bulk of the team is made up of young men and women from the universities, I should say that, at college level.
Okay. Sasa na ningetaka kuongea na Stacy, how would you encourage people to take up taekwondo? There is the competitive side where you are in, but there is also for fitness, and the other one, self-defense. Si kwenda ile kutishia watu maisha kwenye.
Okay, taekwondo is like any other sport, as I said earlier. All those who are interested can join. The clubs are all over. There is clubs in Mombasa, there are clubs in Nairobi. It's friendly game. You learn so much. Body fitness, defensive ways, apart from competition. So don't be afraid. It's a good sport. And come all and enjoy.
Wasihi wenzako ambao wangetaka kuingia mchezo huu, ni nini ningetaka wajue ndio waingie kwenye mchezo?
like wakwe aggressive kujua more about the game because it is not everyone is ako enjoyable na hiyo game because inaogofya. Wengine wanaona kama mtu anaweza enda huko ucheze alafu unaweza piga umie vibaya. So watu wasiumie, wako freely kujoin.
Lakini sasa wewe uko kwenye huu mchezo na hauogopi. Nikusema tayari hauogopi.
Yeah, kwa sasa hivi siogopi, but kitambo nilikuwa naiogopa. Inafanya mtu akue na hiyo kutoka na fear. Asikuwa kuogopa, like unaweza defense. It is enjoyable.
Sawa. Umesikia? Kwa hivyo usiogope. Kama watu wanapigana masumbwi, boxing, then there's nothing to be afraid about. Anyway, yes, talking about the Olympics, Maria Brunlehner is a swimmer. So there is an Olympics watch property that we have that we're going to be playing before we get into the next conversation, which is all about, Woodball. Kenya is going to be hosting an international championship in September. So you've had all the laughs here, and we wish you all the best. Stacy, under 50s, 2-kilogram taekwondo in. Juliet is here. She's in the under 57 division. Their coach, Philip Kaemba, and treasurer, Lena Marita. Let's get the story of Maria Brunlehner as she prepares for the Olympic Games. She's going to be one of the 2 swimmers who have been entered in Team Kenya through the universality mode.
Kenyan swimmer Maria Brunlehner is happy to be part of Team Kenya for the Paris Olympic Games, set to begin proper on the 26th of this month after qualifying for the Games with Ridwan Mohammed.
I found out after we had the meet in Bahamas. I was very happy to hear because I'd been looking forward to it since I swam in Doha in February. So I was very excited to know that I can compete at the Olympics.
Having competed in the women's 100-meter freestyle at the 2019 World Aquatic Championship and at the 2019 Africa Games held in Rabat, Morocco, where she won the bronze medal in the women's 4x100-meter medley relay, Brunlehner is eyeing an Olympic medal in the event, having trained so hard for the Games since February this year.
I'd say it's a different competing pool in most areas, but it's the same thing. Swimming is swimming wherever you do it. It's one sport, just different areas of doing it, different country and place. So it's the same for me.
Emily Muteti missed a medal at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, and 24-year-old Brunlehner is hopeful of making her presence felt in Paris, where she will compete in the 50-meter women freestyle.
It's an honor to compete there, and I'm very excited, and it's a chance where I get to, show what I've been training for, because it's been years. I know Emily's been at the last Olympic, and she did a really good job, and unfortunately, my sister didn't get to go, so I just like to represent my country at the Olympics and do my best this year.
She will also aim at breaking the national record in the event should she miss a medal in Paris.
Hopefully I break the national record. I just want to do my best. I'm going to try my best and give my best effort into my swimming. So that's what I can say.
The Paris Olympic Games will begin proper on the 26th of this month, with the swimming schedule beginning a day later.
Ferdinand Omanyala of Kenya getting a wonderful welcome here from the crowd in Botswana. Quick start in the middle from Tobogo and from Ferdinand Omanyala. Here comes Ferdinand Omanyala, unofficially 9.79. That would be phenomenal from Ferdinand Omanyala.
Tobogo, watch him there on the outside in the orange vest. He looks at him, they look at each other, and he smiles. is almost like they had a little bit of a rivalry. Who's going to win this one?
Ferdinand Omanyala has made it to Team Kenya for the Paris Olympic Games, and his focus is not only getting to the final but winning gold to add to his collection. His first attempt for a medal at an Olympic Games was not so successful as he missed out at Tokyo 2020.
Well, also coming through is Lindsay as well, but in the end, on the line, 9.92, Omanyala Tobago. Very, very close indeed in the photo finish. Who got it on the line? Omanyala looks, Tobago looks. Neither of them celebrating. Omanyala's been given it, 9.92.
But he has 3 titles to his name, all of which he won 2 years ago. He won the 100 meters gold at the African Championship in Mauritius, and at the same event also won gold in the 4x100 meter relays. The same year he went on to win gold in the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, United Kingdom. At the World Championship in Budapest last year, he finished 7th, an improvement from the previous World Championship in Eugene, where he was ranked 13th overall, and at the World Indo Championship early this year, he finished 4th in the 60 meters event.
Well, Omanyala got a brilliant start. Lyles looks fairly relaxed on the near side. Omanyala, Lyles, and it's Akiri.
Born on 2nd January 1996, Omuro Omanyala is the 9th fastest man of all time in the 100 meters, having clocked a time of 9.77 seconds on the 18th of September 2021, and also holds the Kenyan national record in the 60 meters. Paris will be his second Olympics and wants to better his previous attempt by making it to the final and perhaps making it to the gold medal.
He could not be more of a hometown favourite, and they will be partying in Nairobi tonight. Ferdinand Omanyala invited the rest of the world to come and race him, and he has come out on top.
Unajua, token mita yako inahitaji system update. Ni rahisi na ni free. Ukipata ujumbe kutoka Kenya Power, yani SMS, weka kodi ya kwanza kureset, alafu weke kodi ya pili kuupdate. Update token mita yako. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na Kenya Power and Lighting Company.
I never heard a music so sweet. I repeat.
Wagwan, the bread when big things are going. Remember, each and every Monday we have to shell down the place with nothing but the best of smooth reggae vibes in your favorite station. You know these things, man.
Alafu kila Tuesday, kata simu tupo side, giving you Kenyan music from the 254.
And of course, you can spice up your Wednesday by enjoying blazing hot hip-hop and R&B jams.
We don't got no label. She says she want bottles.
Vibes and vibes as we go all across Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, all the way to Tanzania to give you nothing but the best on Afro Thursday. Make sure you make a date with us each and every single Friday with me, DJ_Liza Diva,
DJ Cold,
and me, Wanjiko. This is Club One Extra.
Unanifanya nisikie kunongwa Hadija ai Mani especially ukisonga.
Thank you for joining us on Healthy Living. Stay connected to Voice of America at voanews.com. A look at your kidneys and how they impact your health. And an expert discusses chronic kidney disease and how to protect yourself. And Ivorian psychologist Noor Bakayoko shares some insights on bullying and what can be done.
It's important to avoid major events or major health crisis.
How do you know if your cough is due to a serious condition? We'll have some answers. Stay well
and strive to make every day a healthy day.
Leo tuko na show moja ya Vungu.
Alliance Francais hosted Al Noor Band from Lamu alongside Eddie Gray, who played Tarab music. The biggest urban street dance competition in the world made a stop in Nairobi once again.
You're the only one I see. You make me fall in love with you.
And welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning. It is the 15th day of July 2024. We're counting down to the Olympic Games at Paris 2024. And this is 11 days and counting. And those games are going to be live on KBC Channel 1. So we are going to be giving you the full brief of all of these games and appraising you on how that is going to be covered. Also, in our news, we are following up with the DCI will be briefing us about the incident that happened at Kware, and that is in Mukuru kwa Jenga in Nairobi County. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations is going to be giving a briefing on the investigations they found and what they can tell the public about the discovery of bodies that had been dumped at the disused quarry. Now, also, other stories that we are keeping up with is that we've got the my apologies. We've got the Kenya Association of Resident Associations, KARA, who are going to be signing an initiative with Bingwa. So that's one of the stories that we're going to be also following up this morning. Our hashtag is SportsCheckKBC. Right now, let's talk about a different sport. It's what you'd say a crossbreed of croquet and golf. It's known as Woodball. Kenya, a sport that came into the country. Kenya at the moment, the African champions, the East African champions, and we are now looking forward to the Kenya International Woodball Championship that's going to be hosted at the Mount Kenya University in Thika, Kiambu County. In studio with me to talk about that, on my immediate left, I've got the Secretary General of Woodball Kenya, Samuel Itabo. Karibu.
Yes, thank you.
And we've got 2023 MVP and captain of MKU, Dorcas Gaki. Welcome.
Thank you.
And also we've got the treasurer of Woodball Kenya, Titus Mboya. And later, Wana Mboya and Dorcas, you're going to be giving us a demonstration so that people can understand Woodball. It's a bit fragile here. It's not how you'd do it out on the fairways out there. Yeah. But let me start with this, G, looking at the competitions that last year we had the beach, the Woodball beach, the World Championships. Mm-hmm. That is for the beach version of the games. And now this year we're going to be having what you'd call the grass format. Just tell us about how you've been working over the past 1 year to ensure that there is this transition between the two codes.
Okay, so of course we have the beach Woodball that is played on the beach or where there is sand, and then there's the normal Woodball, which maybe we can call it lawn Woodball, that is played on grass and any other surface that is suitable. So the preparation is very similar. The only difference now is where to prepare. Like now for the beach Woodball, we had to go to Mombasa so that we get a proper feel of playing on the sand.
All right,
yes.
Let me just hold that. Okay. Let's hold that thought because we'd like to move over to Mazingira Complex, which is the DCI headquarters, and there is a briefing, and this is on what has been happening at Kware. Let's get this briefing.
Of what we have so far done. Thank you. DCI.
Thank you very much, our Acting Inspector General. And let me take this opportunity to welcome you to DCI headquarters. And we are very sorry for keeping you guys for quite some time. In our relentless efforts to deliver justice dumping site matters, and for us to give closure to the devastated family, we have this morning arrested the prime suspect, already identified to you guys by the Acting Inspector General, known as Collins Jumaisa Halusha, 33 years old. The suspect was arrested at Soweto in Kayole Sub-County this morning at around 3 a.m. in a joint operation by the DCI and the National Police Service officers. He was arrested outside a club where he had gone to watch the Europe 2024 football finals. His pursuit and subsequent arrest followed a very thorough forensic analysis of a mobile phone that belonged to victims, namely Josephine Mulongo Owino, where some mobile money transactions were conducted on the very day Josephine went missing. Upon arrest of the suspect, he led our officers to his single-room rental house in Kware, which is located about 100 meters from the crime scene. That is the Kware Dam, where the bodies and the body parts have been recovered. We conducted a quick search in the house, which led to recovery of the following very crucial exhibits. We were able to recover 24 Airtel SIM card holders with new SIM cards, 8 smartphones and 2 feature phones, 1 laptop and 1 drive, 2 flash drives and a memory card, much that we used to dismember the to show this very shortly, similar to the ones that were have the bodies down. 1 pair of national identification cards for men and 2 ID cards for women. 1 pink female handbag, 2 pink female panties, 5 rolls of cannabis sativa, 4 huge clear, some of which were recovered at the scene. So these ones are similar to those ones recovered from the scene. We also recovered 1 reflector jacket, 2 title deeds, 2 documents. On interrogation, the suspect faced to have lured, killed, and disposed 42 female bodies at the dumping site, all murdered between 2022 and as recent as last day, 11th of July, 2024. Unfortunately, and this is very sad, the suspect alleged that the first victim was his wife, namely Imelda Judith Halenya, whom he strangled to death before dismembering her body and disposing it at the same site. From our interrogation, all his victims have been murdered in the same style, like we had alluded to yesterday. Our investigations are still ongoing, and the suspect's house and the dumping site remain active crime. Just like the acting Inspector General has said, we call upon the families who reasonably believe that their loved ones may have fallen prey to these macabre murders, to these reprehensible acts of what I can only call a vampire, to report to our DCI headquarters or to any other DCI office or the nearest police station for that matter. As the DCI, we wish to reiterate our commitment to expediting this investigation, just like I said yesterday, for us to deliver quick justice to the victims of this horrendous crime. Gentlemen, like I said yesterday, we posited several theories that we were looking at. But from the look of things, crystallizing that we are dealing with a serial killer, a psychopathic serial killer who has no respect for human life. A psychopathic serial killer who has no respect and dignity for the deceased persons. In our interrogation, and very sad indeed, he confessed to us that with some of the victims, he was able to have carnal knowledge with some of the victims. A very, very sad state of affairs. As we were apprehending him last night, or even this morning, he was in the process of luring another victim by the name Susan. We are yet to identify. I'm sure as we progress with investigations, we should be able to get hold of Susan so that she will be able to give us her side of the story. Otherwise, we are dealing with a vampire, a psychopath. We shall make sure that the investigations are very thorough, very, very professional. Any other character or characters who are associated with him, we shall go for them. And immediately we are done with the investigations, he will be taken to court to face the full force of the law. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, I will invite my Director of Operations, Mr. Maura, to briefly give you a highlight and take what we have recovered, and thereafter we will be able to answer one or two questions. Thank you. Come closer if you want.
Good morning, everyone. This morning, we visited the house of our suspect, and we were able to recover from him one smartphone. That is the first one here. Then we proceeded to his house, and we recovered some other 7 smartphones, which are displayed as well, and then 2 other phones. Also in the same house, we were able to recover 2 hard drives that we believe have got enough information. In his phone that he had at hand, there were pictures of ladies, photos, and some videos videos that he had recorded. We also recovered 2 USB and memory card. We as well recovered 9 ID cards, 6 for men and 3 for ladies. We also recovered 24 Airtel SIM cards and their holders, which we believe he has used the IDs to register them. And these are the ones he has been using in the commission of crimes. We as well recovered industrial gloves, which we believe he was using while dismembering his victims. We appreciate that we also recovered a rope that resembles the ones that was used to tie up the sacks. We have nylon bags, 12 of them, which as well resemble the nylon bags that were recovered with bodies that were dismembered inside the dam. We have a lady's purse, which we suspect belongs to one of his victims, a reflector jacket. We have a laptop that was also recovered. We have a machete that in the course of investigation, he confesses to have been using to dismember. We have 2 underwears which we used to the victims. There are also 2 title deeds that are in his name, and some notebooks that he has records that we believe will be very important in the course of our investigation. He also had some Kenyan money with him and 5 sticks of suspect. We have our suspect with us still going on. Thank you, sir. I had forgotten the cell tapes, 4 of them. Those who were corrected from the dam, there are some elements of these cell tapes which he believes sometimes could have been used to tie up the dismembered parts of the body and as well to mask them mouths so that the victims do not make noise. Thank you.
Na kwa hivyo kama vile tulisema jana, uchunguzi unaendelea na maofficers wetu wako hata saa hizi bado wanaendelea. Kama vile tumesema nao, ile nyumba, the rented room, becomes again an active crime scene together with the dump site. Na sisi kama idara ya polisi tunazidi kuwauliza wananchi waendelee kuwa watulivu. Wakati huu tunaendelea na kupambana na hii maneno tuweze kujua chanzo ni ipi. Kwa hivyo tunawauliza wazidi kuwa watulivu, wasaidiane na sisi kwa wale ambao wanaweza kuwa na mambo yote, jambo yote ambao inahusika na hii, ama mtu ambao amepoteza mtu yake kwa hiyo muda ambao tumeona anaweza tokezea hapa kwa DCI headquarters ama kituo kingine yoyote ya polisi na kupiga hiyo habari hapo. Sisi na nyinyi kusaidiana na nyinyi, we count on you, the members of the fourth estate and everybody else, to work together to support us so that we can be able kujua nini hii na chanzo yake ni nini. Asanteni sana.
Following what the DCI boss. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim from KBC. Given that the DCI boss had just clearly stated that you believe dumped in that quarry, so it begs the question: how can someone act barely a police officer? And then secondly, who dropped the ball? As much as we have arrested the suspects, what happens to the security contingent who might not have given the proper intelligence? Because somebody cannot just wake up one morning and drop a body close to a police station, and we have officers in this country.
Okay, thank you.
Another one here.
Okay.
My name is Walter from Ramogi TV. The question is therefore,
It takes several effort for such act, and therefore does your lead have more suspect to follow? And it also took a dream to open the eye of the DCI officers. Does it really require a dream for such to be established? Thank you.
So thank you very much. Put it this way, that as we have indicated yesterday and today, these are investigations that we are conducting. We are going to get to understand all the issues surrounding this matter, because the experts are on it, and they are going to continue providing us with information. And that is exactly why we are calling upon anybody, everybody, or the members of the public, anyone who could be having any kind of information that can assist us to come forward and do that. Thank you.
Bueno, acting IG, my name is Franklin Wala from Citizen TV. I understand there's another suspect in custody. I don't know who is this second suspect in custody and what was his role in this whole incident. Another question. You mentioned that the first victim was Imelda Wahome. Missing person report filed about her disappearance, and maybe what was the progress of the investigation? Have you been able to talk to the families? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank
In regard to the arrest of the second suspect, after we interrogated the main suspect this morning, he told us that immediately at the commission of the offense, dispose of the mobile phone to the victims, to other unsuspecting persons, at a throwaway price of 500. This morning, it is true, we arrested one suspect whom we found in possession of one of the handsets belonging to one of the victims, whose body was identified yesterday at the city mortuary by the relatives. So I've taken him as an accomplice or as a witness, whichever way the investigations will take us. In terms of dreaming, we are not dreamers as believe in dreaming. We are guided by professionalism. Even before the said Josephine prophesied what she prophesied, we had our work plan clearly cut for us. And we were doing it methodically and very, very professionally. And that's why today we were able to apprehend this culprit, apprehend the other culprit, and be able to do these significant recoveries. So our investigation was very methodical and will continue. We are likely to arrest more suspects because we believe that he was not alone in the commission of this reprehensible act, and very soon we'll be able to net them. We shall cast the net wider. Thank you. We have just gotten that information this morning. So we are digging into archives, and maybe in the course of the day, we'll be able to follow that, that allegation. Thank you. Yeah, it can, because we are talking about an upward of 40 females having been killed. So, and with the spike in homicide cases, perhaps there could be a correlation between what we have been experiencing and what we have just seen. So it's true, there could be a correlation. Otherwise, we can take the last question. Actually, that was an area of interest to us. what is it that motivated this young man to do what he did? And what he told us was that he was married to his first wife in 2022. He started for her a business. She squandered the business. Started for her another business. She business. And out of bitterness, he chopped her into pieces and dumped her at the quarry. But that is subject to further investigations. So apparently he's a person full of vengeance and hatred. And he had a special predilection for beautiful women, according to what he told us. Although beauty is subjective. What could be beautiful to a person, but he had a predilection for beautiful women, according to his testimony. Can you get a picture of him just for the sake of the one? No, not really. You can get a good picture when we parade him before court. Otherwise, doing that will be prejudicial to our investigations. Likely tomorrow. Otherwise, thank you very much for coming. And
which is the DCI headquarters, and it is about the killings that, the bodies that have been retrieved, and this is at Kware in Mukuru Kwajanga, at a Kware, a disused site, and so that place had flooded, and a suspect known as Collins Kalusha was arrested, and the briefing was by the Acting Inspector General of the National Police Service, Douglas Kanja, and the Director of Criminal Investigations, Amin Mohammed. So let's go back and listen to the Acting Inspector General. Okay. The Acting Inspector General actually has wound up that briefing. So we can now continue with our conversation, and this is right here in studio, where we are having a conversation about Woodball, and in studio with us is the Secretary General of Woodball Kenya, Samuel Litaba. We've got Dorcas Kaki, who's captain of the Mount Kenya University Woodball team, and Titus Mwe, who's the treasurer of Woodball Kenya. So, SG, you were giving us a brief about last year, beach, and now you come in to this where there's a different World Cup, and this is now for the, on the grass and all the surfaces that we have.
Yes. Okay, so you had asked the question, how did we move from the beach,
the development from
beach, and now coming back to the lawn Woodball. Yeah, so for the beach, of course, we needed to go to a surface where there was sand, because it's played on sand, and therefore when we were preparing for the World Cup, at one point we had to go to Mombasa, where we could find plenty of sand to practice and prepare. And that helped us to perform extremely well during the World Cup. But now from there, the training is similar. The only difference now is the surface. So now we have come back again to the grass, where we are training and preparing for the upcoming events. Recently we held our Taifa Championship, which comes once every year. Yeah, so, but there are other events that I believe we'll talk about as we go along. But now we are training on grass as we prepare for the World Cup this year.
Doctor, let me come to you as the MVP, and currently how would you describe this Woodball scene in the country?
Woodball is, let me first generalize it as a sport. It's a very good sport. It's a sport that can be played with anyone at any age, even when you're old or young, you can play Woodball. So as the captain and the MVP, I would advocate for people to continue playing Woodball in the country.
Mboya, let's talk about the equipment, because I know you soon be joining, just going around so that you could give us a demonstration of that together with Dorcas. Woodball, it's been in the country now, getting the right equipment and also getting the playing surfaces, lawn or beach.
It's been A hard time we've had as we're looking for resources to get the equipment, because we need, for one to play Woodball, you need a standard ball, you need a standard gate, and also the standard mallet. So you have either the mallets, you can get aluminium mallets or the wooden mallets, but what remains constant is the ball. So across as we try to spread the game across the country, the biggest challenge is getting the standard equipment. Because currently, if you want to get the standard equipment, you have to go to Taiwan, because Woodball was made in Taiwan. So currently, we try to survive on what we can have as we spread the game. But when you reach in other serious competitions, the technical of the local organizing committee will check the standard of your ball, the standard of your mallet. If it doesn't meet the international Woodball standards, you can't be allowed to play with it.
Actually, we'll be getting a demonstration of that, because right behind me we've got the equipment that they do use, the gate, the mallet, and the Woodball. SG, let's talk about this, the Kenya International Championship. That the International Woodball Championship that's been planned for September. Give us a whole idea of that.
Now, every year we hold this tournament. It's actually an international tournament. We started off as a national tournament, but the neighboring countries requested that they would want to be part of it. So we graduated it to an international tournament, where teams from outside can also come and participate. So every year we hold that national or international tournament to help prepare our teams for any international events. It's also a selection. During that time, we do our final selections. Of course, the selections are done throughout the year. The good thing with Woodball is that records are kept. So every time the players play, the records are kept, their performance. It's just like golf. So with those records, it is very easy to trace who has been performing well, who has been consistent. Yeah, but also we use that championship to help us do our final selections for the teams. Yes.
So you use basically what, handicapping system? Skill level evaluation.
Yes, you know, it's just like athletics cross country. Every venue is different, so you cannot really compare one venue to another. Yeah, so one venue, one person can perform well, on another venue, they don't perform so well. So we need to keep a record of several events that a person has participated in for us to decide who can make it to the national team. Yes.
Okay. All right, so well, let's give us a whole idea of a course and how it is set up.
Yeah. So for Woodball, you need the size of a
and maybe at that time, maybe Dorcas, you could just be going around so that you could give us a demonstration as Titus gives us.
For Woodball, you need the size of a football pitch. That is space enough to hold 12 fairways or a multiple of 12. So we have ropes that have been set. So we have shapes different. We have an L, we have a longer I. The longest one is 130 meters long, which is 5 to 10 meters wide. So, but the winner is the one who scores with the least on each fairway. So when you're playing fairway competition, strokes competition, we say in a total of 12 fairways, accumulatively the one who has the least is declared the winner. But now in fairway competition, in a total of 12 fairways, the one who has one more fairways, let's say if you beat me 7 fairways, there's no need of us going on to play the rest of the 5. Because alternatively, even if I won the last 5, you have already won. So we have different shapes. We have L, 2 L's that turn to the left and also 2 to the right. We also have a V. So a player is supposed to know at which fairway should I apply less energy to stay on. because if you go outside of the demarcated area, we call it an OB, that is an out of bound. Let's say if you're hitting your first stroke and then the ball goes out, so the player will come from the first point of exit, the ball went outside, then he will measure 2 mallet heads. Then they will not play their second stroke but a third one, because it's a violation. So you go out again, you play another one, but now you're doing 5. So if your opponent has scored with 2 and you're still playing at 7, meaning you are losing. So accumulatively, the one who has the least is the winner.
Okay, so right now, let's just take a look at some of the equipment that they do use. Titus, you're free to join, so that we can see a full demonstration of how this happens. Dorcas, meanwhile, you could just be showing us the equipment that you use and describe it for us. You can see you've got 2 mallets and you've got the ball. And Titus, also, you could use that to explain to us, you know, how standard a ball can be. Let's take a look at this demonstration of Woodball.
So these 2 balls, one is standard and another one is local. So you can find standard ball has a logo from Taiwan, Hugh King, with even the number. But this one is a local ball that we have created so that we can play locally, how we can afford it. And also on these 2 mallets, this is a wooden mallet, this is an aluminum mallet. So this wooden one is not a standard mallet, but the aluminum one is a standard one. So in international championships, if I came with my equipment that are not good international certified standard, I will not be allowed to play. So that means I will not be in the championship, but Dorcas will be. So this is the gate. Our target is to score successfully in this gate. So Gaki will score for us. So the intention is to score. You can also repeat, then I demonstrate how you should hold the mallet. So the reason why this place is black, you have to hold, she's right-handed, so she will hold her hand at this side. Then the second hand will create an inverted triangle. Woodball is all about mathematics. So when a player masters all those triangles, so that from the 2 feet to the mallet and the ball, you create an isosceles triangle. Then also from the ball, the mallet to the player, another triangle. Then the shoulder pointing into the gate. That way you will score. So the distance changes. She can be maybe the other side, so you can move, let's say, more meters to try and see if you can score. Because you can find an opponent scoring at 130 meters away, and then they score with 1. And if you go outside, you are wasting chances of you winning. So you try to score again. Take your time. You have 10 seconds. Success getting. So anytime she scores and the opponent doesn't score, she gets an upper hand. You can try more meters. So you take your time, you aim at the wine glass. The reason as to why the gate is suspended, so that when it rotates, it says cheers. That before you score, the guy who created Woodball was a golfer. So one day when he's at home, he's creating a space for his parent to play Woodball. So his friends call him to a party. You can see what you are holding is a Taiwan beer. So when you open the Taiwan beer, you put in a wine glass and you say cheers as you celebrate. So from there, that is when he created this spot. That's why it is suspended. So when you score, even if it's from far away, the gate celebrates and says cheers. So when we play Woodball, we celebrate. Now you can score. Hard luck. So what happens when you don't score? Now you play from the point where the ball has gone. You don't come and pick it again. So from that point, Dorcas will have to set again. So when she's setting, it is an extra stroke. So set. So you try and see how you can play. If you can't play from there, you get an extra stroke added to you so that you can put a place where you can score, then you score. For I don't know if do you want an extra stroke? Yes. No. So play at 3 now. So you measure. Those are 2 mallet heads. Then now you can score. But now you are scoring with your 3rd stroke. Take your time. Success. So it has to go through. But in the event it stays here, let's say you are playing from this other side and then it stays here, that is not success getting. Success getting is when the ball gets through. Through. So it is purely golf. All the golf rules apply in woodball. The difference, our ball is wooden and we don't score in a hole, but we score in a suspended gate. Yes.
All right. Well, you've heard from Titus Mboya, who is, treasurer Woodball Kenya, and giving us a brief on how the sport is played, given that it is, one that Kenya is going to host. And SG, as we close so that we can move on to something different, just give us a whole outlook of some of the teams that we would expect for the Kenya International Woodball Championships.
Now, the teams that have confirmed will come are mainly from Kenya. Of course, we have clubs from Kenya. We have 2 major clubs, and universities is where the game is strong. So we have around 16 universities we expect to come. We have invited them. And then we have the 2 clubs that are playing the woodball in Kenya. Then teams from Tanzania are expected to come. They have confirmed. And teams from Uganda will also participate in that championship. Of course, we have invited others, but those are the ones we are sure will be there, plus the Kenyans. And I believe it will be a good event as we prepare for the World Cup that will be later this year in October.
Thank you very much, Samuel Litaba, who is the Secretary General of Woodball Kenya. We also had Treasurer Titus Mboya and 2023 MVP Dorcas Keki. So when SG asked that you just stay there, maybe as I take this, because we're moving on to another sport, and it is a motorsport right now. Meru over the weekend hosted the 6th round of the National Autocross Championship, organized by the Meru Motorsports Club. And the turnout was huge. It was something that even for the competitors, they really hadn't expected, but they did enjoy. And joining us via Zoom from Meru County is Nkobo Amware, who is with the Meru Motorsports Club, worked together to put this event. Bwana Amware, good morning to you, and thank you for speaking to us from Meru this morning, Bwana Nkobo Amware.
Thank you very much, Wahome.
First of all, congratulations on that event. Just give us a whole idea of how, the weekend was for you.
Actually, let me say this. It was a eye-opener for Meru people. The first time motocross was held in Meru ground, which were and where was so successful. It was graced by our CS Amwamba, chairman wetu, myself, the president, Maina Muturi, the VC of the university where it was held on the ground, and the deputy VC, and the entire staff of the university. It was a successful event, which was organized by Meru Motorsports, ended by Amwari, director, Maitima, the chairman, Ken Rungu, the secretary, and the team of the Kenya, the treasurer, who has worked all hours without time. Thank you for whoever came and whoever supported us. Many people have supported us. When I go back to Silver Aspirant, Mafuko, and the Shell, and the Mosabet, who are looking for tomorrow to be on board on us. It is an eye-opener for us, Meru people, that April we had an 4x4 event which was successful. But actually, the biggest of all was the Autocross. It has raised our bar in the motorsport fraternity. Whoever came there, whoever came to visit us to see and to watch it, it was so much interesting and it was smart. Actually, remember the comment of our CS Amwamba, the comment of the VC. He expected 100 people in that crowd. But when he watched it and he said, I never knew that it was a big event. He was shocked. But he has given us assurance that it will be a yearly, annually event on that ground. And he said he will support it 100%. And whatever we need, the support from the university and the entire one. Then the other thing is we are supported Irene by Bengi, who hails from this mtoto yetu. Yeye mwenyewe ndiye amesukuma all the places, ile yote imepeano ni Bengi. But also I quoted nikasema, let him join us because he's one of our son on the soil and we need him highly and who supported us. He has brought them, he had about 8 entries from his own alone. And the entry hand was 37, which was the top in this season. So we expect if we can have an arrangement better and good and with all support we had with the entire staff, I think we can come up with a good event. Mr. Maina was with us. He can comment on that. The chairman of KMSF and the president.
Okay, let me.
Then he can give us a note and say to once if you are joining us on Zoom. I think I can give it back to the chairman, Maina, and then he can answer some other questions you want to know about the Meru Motorsport Autocross, which I did yesterday. I am here to say thank you to COC Yangu, Joe Mochiri. I'm here to say thank you. I don't want to express for Agri and the entire crew who supported us. But COC Mochiri out of Asante. Bengi Asante. I'm so happy. And then my chairman can come and comment on the issue of the Autocross. Thank you.
Well, just one more question, Bwana Mwari. Just what was the reaction of the competitors to the track that you put? Because nobody had ever competed in Meru before. What did they say about, the competition track that
the stage
Mushiri did?
Come again. You're asking about the drivers and the whatever they're saying about the stage?
Yes, and the stage. How did the drivers find the stage that was set up by Mushiri?
I've watched many stages in Kenya. I've gone to Kasarani, I've gone to Nanyuki, I've gone to Eldoret and Mombasa. Their stages were so short, although they were fast, that when I came up with a stage, I talked to Muchiri, the COC, nikamwambia, let we do a wrong stage, whereby one can engage 1, 2, 3 in the car, and he can come back again. But the obstacle ahead. That's why you came with a wrong stage where they are not used to it, and they enjoyed. After the race, they came back, they said, this is what we want in the future. We want a long race, the long stages, whereby they can. It's a tough one to tackle because sometimes I've got a stretch of 140 or 160 because the limitation of FIA, you can never have a 240 stretch meters. It's only limited to 160, 140. So when the guy drives at a stage of 140 or 160, it's better. But for now, I give them a stage of 160, 140, 30, 80, 100, 110, so that they can enjoy because riding is enjoying what you are. Because it's like football. The coach tells you, enjoy the game. I came up with an answer and I said, drivers enjoy the stages. And they came up and they said, the stage was very good. And everybody commented on it. You can ask Benki. He drove in that stage. Wahome, thank you.
All right, thank you. And as we go, what can we do? The conversation is, now that the impact has been felt in Meru, what can be done, say, with other clubs, say, if you come up with a circuit, say, with the Nanyuki Rally Group?
You see, when we came back, when the university came on board and saying we are going to partner with you in the motorsport, other universities have come up and said, well, we want to do as Meru did, as Meru University did with the Meru Motorsport. And it's an eye-opener to other universities. I tell you, by the next year, you see other university coming in on board with the rally, with the other clubs, which design them, they are there, they belong to them, or they are together. Then they come up with such a stage. But now the intention of the the chairman of KMC is actually trying to do the best he can. He is working he's burning the night oil, all the KMC where it was. Phineas did a fantastic job in the KMC. He brought the WRC, he secured the offices. That man is brilliant. Only that Afropet is never have any name in his house. Muturi is trying to bring us back to where we belong. He has sent all the events this season and is coming up. We send Kongera for Muturi. Send the stages will be better and we are going to do a better job. If the problem we have in this country is the sponsors. But they send and they have sent and they have sent again. If you do well in your events, all the sponsors will come and look at you. And they're coming and knocking our doors now. Actually, I've got many rock today. They have called me. And as I speak now, I've got my treasurer with me. Timothy Clemmer, I think you can get him. Actually, he's trying to put his finger down and his pen, and that can come with the proposal where it's being supposed to be sent to some other of the companies like we need us on board. That one is sure.
All right. Thank you.
Wahome.
Thank you very much. Bwanankovu Amwari, he is with the Meru Motorsports Club. They organized an event that blew the minds of motorsport competitors and also the people of Meru showing up in large numbers. And it was, what would say, the game-changing autocross event of the season. Thank you very much, Bwana Amwari. Well, we've got to put an end to the program today right here. And thank you for all those who made this possible. And for you, the viewer, thank you for being with us. Remember, Olympics iko KBC. My name is Daniel Wahome. Our sign language interpreter has been Lensa Odingo. It's time to leave. Tamrini and Kurunzi Mashinani up next.
It's time for the men's 3,000-metre steeplechase showdown. This is a title that has been firmly gripped by a whole plethora of sensational Kenyans all the way back to 1984, the last time any nation other than Kenya stood atop the podium in the men's 3,000 steeplechase was 1980. Can their emerging stars rise to keep a proud tradition alive? Or, for the first time in Olympic history, might we see an Ethiopian taking this crown? Fantastic showdown. The might of the African nations being tested here. Conseslus Kipruto produced the Olympic record in taking the title 5 years ago. He's had issues away from athletics, so he's not here. But a world-class field of 15 most certainly are ready to grasp this opportunity. Benjamin Kigen, African Games champion. One of the two Kenyans in the mix. Abraham Kibiwot is their other representative, Commonwealth silver medalist. But what about the Ethiopians? Getnet Wale, 12:53 over 5,000 metres this year. Final of the men's 3,000-metre steeplechase. Promises to be a cracker. There will be millions of Kenyans watching in bars and homes and cafes all up and down the Rift Valley, in Nakuru, in Eldoret, in Nairobi. This is the event that they've dominated for so long, with a list of incredible champions. Kip Keino in 72, Julius Kariuki in 88. Ezekiel Kemboy's won this title. But the Ethiopians are desperate for their own slice of Olympic history here. And on paper, they've got a fantastic chance of taking their first gold medal in this event. 3 laps to go in the final of the men's 3,000-metre steeplechase. Lamacha Gurma making a concerted effort to break this group. Remember, no Ethiopian male has ever won this Olympic title. The Kenyans haven't lost it since 1980. And it's Ethiopia 1 and 2, Kenya 3 and 4, Morocco 5 and 6. This great battle between the Africans is unfolding as expected. And what a final kilometre in prospect. 2 laps to go in the final of the men's 3,000-metre steeplechase. Germa leading, the silver medalist from 2 years ago, beginning to pull away. Wale, his compatriot, trying to hang on. That's the Eritrean, Haile Selassie, desperate to move through the field and close the gap. El Bakali tracking them, though. The tall Moroccan in 4th place, medalist in London, medalist in Doha. And he would love to upset this East African rivalry between the Kenyans and the Ethiopians. El Bakali looks poised to strike.
And more importantly, no fear. You've got to be fearless when you're running in the group with the Kenyans and with the Ethiopians, that you're going to be committed to make your move.
The 2 Kenyans have allowed a gap to open up. They take the bell in the final of the men's 3,000-metre steeplechase. Does history beckon for Lamcha Germa? No Ethiopian male has won this title. But what about El Bakali? The tall, shadowy figure in red moves up towards 2nd place. And Keegan of Kenya still driving, still hoping, still pushing. Desperate for the Kenyans to hang on to this title. What a climax in prospect here. Wale's beginning to go backwards. Keegan is desperately trying to win that battle. Is it the battle for the bronze? Wale stumbles and carries on. El Bakali up past Germa. The Moroccan is seizing his opportunity here. The Kenyan dominance is over. The Ethiopians thought it would be their turn to rise to the occasion, but El Bakali makes history. No Moroccan has ever won this title. They have now, and the name on the gold is Soufiane El Bakali. Gemacha takes the silver for Ethiopia. Absolutely amazing. Keegan on the podium for 3rd. The Kenyans will feature, but it's not gold this time. All the glory, all the plaudits, and all the history belongs to Soufiane El Bakali. A bronze in Doha at the World Championships. A silver in London at the World Championships. But when he needed it, when the time came, Olympic glory beckoned. Tears of joy, tears of relief, and tears of delight. El Bakali with a sensational win in the 3,000 steeplechase. Well, the Kenyans were defending a long established period of dominance with the 3,000 steeplechase. The last time they didn't win this title was 1980. But they do have representation on the podium in the form of Benjamin Kigen. Fantastic bronze medal for him. Kenyans possibly a team in transition. And he's put his head above the pulpit and said he can lead the new generation of steeplechasers and look to regain the crown in only 3 years' time in Paris. Soufiane El Bakali, the Olympic champion. Germa another global silver, and Kigen ensures Kenyan representation on the podium, but not the gold they're used to.
Leo tuko na show moja ya vungu.
Alliance Francais hosted Al Noor Band from Lamour alongside Eddie Gray, who played Tarab music. the biggest urban street dance competition in the world, made a stop in Nairobi once again.
To me, you're the only one I see. You make me fall in love with you.
Technology has become a crucial part of our society. Without technological advancements, so much of our everyday lives would be drastically different. As technology develops, it strives to fulfill the changing needs of society. This means that technology exists to help us achieve the things that we wouldn't be able to achieve without it. Take on Tech looks at the advantages and downside of technological innovation in a world that is becoming increasingly dependent on new digital technologies. Every Monday at 10:30 p.m.
France welcomes the world for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games